All right. Thanks everybody for joining. We got our special guest here, Darryl Martin of Apex CEO. Darryl, thanks for joining us. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess before we jump into it, man, do you want to just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and I guess the formation of Apex?
Yeah, I've been trading for about 20 years. A few years into it, found out I was going to have a daughter, decided I should start making videos for her so she would know how to trade if something ever happened to me. And one of my friends watched those videos and convinced me to turn them into a website. So it became a big educational website. And then, but from there, found that a lot of traders didn't have the money or didn't want to risk, retirement, mortgage payment, kids' college savings account, things like that to trade. But they were good traders. They had a lot of potential. And so we launched Apex Trader Funding, and makes it where people don't have to invest their capital. They take a simple evaluation. It basically make so much without losing so much. And if they do that, then we fund them into a performance account, and we pay them out the first 25,000, and then 90% after that. If they blow it, they go back and take the evaluation again. If they fail on evaluation, they just take the evaluation again. So that way they're not having to actually, lose $2,500 or $7,500 or whatever the number may be, and have to refund that into their account over and over and over again, and get a lot more buying power at the same time.
Awesome, awesome. And so how long has Apex been around for?
We've been open since October of 2021.
Mhm.
And since then, we've paid over $60 million to traders.
Excellent, excellent. So I got a bunch of questions here, Darryl. I figured I would save them to the end. Do you have some information that you want to give to us first?
Well, like I said, we've had a great success rate. We've had a lot of. I built the company in a way that I wish other funding evaluation firms would have been built. I tried a lot of them out first, didn't like them, didn't like how they were set up. So felt like they were set up more to make you fail than help you pass.
Hmm.
So I set it up to make it where it's very easy to pass, very liberal, in the profit share, and with the goal, like all these companies had all these goals that they would talk about: getting traders funded, getting traders on their platform, getting this, getting that. But the one goal they didn't have was paying out the most money. And so our goal was to pay out the most money. We paid out 7 million last year. My goal was to 10x that this year. By the end of the year, we'll pay out over $70 million. So I mean, like 7 million in the previous year, meaning
Mm.
over, so we're going to pay out over $60 million this year alone. I want to say somewhere between 12 and 15 million of that was just in the past 30 days. So it's just been going, up, 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 up. Traders have been doing fantastic. Um, we have traders who come in and they got to take 300 evaluations to figure it out. We have traders that come in and they pass in their first evaluation, get a paycheck, that month. So we have traders that pull out a couple $1,000s a month. Traders that pay out $40,000 a month. We have traders that have pulled out over $1 million. So traders that are 18 years old and in college, and traders that are 70 years old and on there trading for a couple hours a day. So we just I mean, it's just a wide variety, and it's people who just want to get in the markets, whether they want to do it as a side hustle or as a full on profession, and we just empower them with the resources needed to make that happen.
For sure, for sure. I know we got a lot of members that um are currently with your guys' program. For those who are new, and, obviously here for some information. What are we looking at for cost wise for some of these evaluations?
Well, if you put in the coupon code, I want to say, what is it, save 50 or save 71 or whatever it is right now. But right now you can get 71% off of like $150. So, I mean, whatever, let's see, that comes out. I mean, 50% comes out to $75. So another 20%, another $20 off that. So about $50, 40, 45, $50 to get in and start trading on a $50,000 account. And it can go all the way up to, several $100s on a $300,000 account.
Okay, all right.
So really, I mean, $50 to risk 2,500 is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And from my understanding, you guys are only it's only for futures. Is there any plan to maybe expand stocks or anything of that nature in the future?
No, the regulators don't like forex, and stocks requires you getting licenses to be able to do a prop firm in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sticking to futures where you trade just our money, just our accounts. So, but in futures, you can trade stock indices, you can trade metals, so if you're trading, GLD, if you're trading, SPY, Qs, if you're trading, oil, stock, you can trade CL. If you're trading Euro USD, you can trade 6E. So, I mean, you can pretty much trade, anything as a futures trader, and you get a lot more leverage and ability to, make your money work for you in doing that. And usually leverage cuts both ways, but, with us taking on the risk and, you not taking on the risk, then you'd get sort of the upside without all the big downside.
Sure. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
All right, Darryl. Here's some questions I got from members. Based on the increasing popularity of prop firms, what's your view about any future potential regulation or limitation on account sizing, payout structure, et cetera? Is there anything going on there?
You can never guess with the regulators, just to be
Yeah,
straight
sure.
up. So I mean, the big thing is just to be honest and transparent, about everything. And I think the companies who are putting in a lot of rules to trick you, or hiding things and not telling you until you get a contract, stuff like that. There's companies like that do that, like they don't tell you that they limit you to $20,000 in payouts until after you've got funded. Stuff like that. We don't do that. Obviously, we have no cap. We post every single payout that we make on our site. We post how much we've made. Most of the companies, I'd say 90% of them don't even post how much they pay out, like if they pay out at all. So I think transparency is a big thing to not be a target.
Sure.
As far as, formats and things like that, I think, it's sort of up to the company, but they need to be very transparent in what they do.
Cool. All right. As more traders get funded, does he see the need for Apex to establish a limited number of funded traders, or and establish a ceiling on the ratio of funded traders to evaluation traders?
No, there's no reason to establish a ceiling. I mean, we place traders once they prove themselves into live accounts, so the more the merrier.
Excellent. Okay. My brother is interested in taking up day trading as a hobby. I'd like to know if the folks at Apex offer gift cards that could give as Christmas presents.
That's a cool idea, but we haven't done that yet. We'd have to program that.
Yeah.
Great marketing. Okay. Great marketing.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah.
There you go. All right. I think that's really all the questions I got submitted. I mean, I guess if anyone's got any questions, yeah, we got it open up in the chat. I'll read them off, Darryl, when we get some questions.
You bet.
I guess like anything, Darryl, we haven't really like touched on that you want I guess everyone to know, or we've pretty much touched base.
I mean, it's just one of those things that if you're looking to trade and you're looking to trade with higher leverage, you're looking to trade in a variety of markets, and you're looking to not risk all your own capital in doing so, this is a great option for you. If you don't mind risking your own money, then go ahead. But we've been very popular. People really like the program. We have multiple platforms that we tie into, over a dozen different platforms, and we try to make it as trader friendly as possible. So one thing is you can trade 20 accounts at one time. So that's something that's unique about Apex. We have a trade copy, other trade copiers you can buy out there. We just released a new one and an update to it as well, where it works with Trade Evate and Trading View now. So, which is a very popular platform out there. Mm-hmm. We have one for the Ninja Trader as well. It also works on that platform. And then there's a couple other platforms that have their own copiers built in. But that allows you to, instead of trading 10 contracts on one account, you can trade one contract on 10 accounts. So if your risk is $2,500, well, now you have $2,500 spread across 10 accounts instead of risking 10 contracts on one account with $2,500 in it. And that's where a lot of our traders really get their big paychecks, is they're going in and they're making $100, just $100 a day, but times 20 accounts.
Oh, nice.
You make $2,000 a day, and you're getting $40,000, twice a month, I mean, you're doing pretty well. And so you don't have to go in and make a fortune. And so it sort of allows a way to compound really fast without over leveraging your account.
Absolutely.
That's great.
All right, Darryl. Is Apex considering a non-trailing down draw model with a daily loss limit instead of only going with a live trailing down draw?
We've considered it. Here's the facts on it. Okay, is there's the end of day and then there's the trailing, and everybody feels like the end of day is better. Like a lot of people feel that way. Okay, the facts are that over 20% more people pass our evaluations that have taken an evaluation than any of our competitors that had end of day. So we have a 25% higher pass rate. So that does show something, that it's not the trailing drawdown that hurts you. The reality is the trailing drawdown makes you very lazy, or the end of day drawdown makes you very lazy. It makes you where you don't care about profits. You're up, you're like, well, I can come back to break even. Well, here's a reality in trading. If you're up $2,000 and you let it go back to break even, there's no such thing as break even. You just lost $2,000 because that $2,000 was your money. So there is no such thing as break even. You know, there's giving back profit. Now there's break even if you lose and it comes back, but not if you make and it comes back. You can agree with that or not agree with that, but the reality is if you could pull it out and put it in your wallet, then you lost it.
Exactly.
And people get lazy with that, and so they let it go, and then it comes back, and then now all of a sudden they're trying to get 2,000 again, so they start over trading, and then they're down 500, and then they're like, well, if I can just get back to break even again, then then I'll stop, and then they're down at 2,000, So it actually creates a really bad psychological trail of just bad markers that our evaluation tests the ability to manage your risk and your profit and your size. And if you manage size, if you will slow down and trade smaller, like I said, $100 a day can add up to 80 grand a month. You don't have to make a fortune. You don't have to go in there and trail for $2,000, $100. I mean, that's 10 ticks, or 8 ticks, or whatever. Just depending on what 20 ticks if you're trading NQ, which is a heartbeat. Okay. You don't need to make a fortune. Now, if you want to trade for longer swings, just trade smaller, trade micros, trade one contract, not 10. The people who have a problem with the trailing drawdown are the people who trade too large. And so it goes up, and then the trailing drawdown goes up because they did so many contracts. Then all it takes is one quick wick, and then boom, they're out and they fail. So
are you able to hold overnight, Darryl?
No, you got to close at 5, but you can reopen at 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's sort of what's held us back from doing end of day is one, just we're seeing a lower pass rate, and I'm really not trying to encourage people to fail more. We have a higher, if the trailing drawdown was an issue, then our second largest competitor, okay, the one that you could say is behind us, that used to be the top dog, we paid out more in 2 months than they paid out in 4 years. They have end of day drawdown. How in the world, with end of day drawdown, did they only pay out what we paid out in 2 months over 4 years, if it's so good? So if you, like I said, if you look at the facts, like it messes with you psychologically. The percentage number of passing proves that people with trailing are actually passing more, and more money is being paid out. So again, it's not the trailing, it's the size that's impacting people. They're going for too much too quick. So is it possible? Yeah. Do we have it programmed and ready? Yes. But do we see it as a wise decision for the traders? Not really. And I've tried to build Apex around what it should be, not just what people want it to be.
For sure. How many nationalities of traders is represented?
I'm gonna say we have like 153. 153.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And do your regulations limit anything for non-US citizens?
In some countries. So like in Germany, there are certain regulations and stuff like that. And, part of our rules is make sure you're in compliance with your local regulations. So if you're doing it.
Okay. All right. Any plans to rid of the unrealized drawdown?
Well, that's what we just talked about.
Well, we just talked about.
Oh, yep. Sorry. All right. May I know if Apex has any plans on allowing submitting payout requests daily as long as 10 trading days have been met after previous payout?
It's something we are actually working on making it where they're more often. I mean, the reality is we process over 6,000 payments a month. So, and that is literally manually reviewing every single account, making sure it's following the rules, then approving the payout, then making the payout, then making sure everybody has their routing number and account number correct, because then it bounces back, and then we have to follow up with all the. It's a lot. I mean, it takes a team of nearly a dozen people to handle payouts. So as it is, so we're gonna have to really work on making things even more streamlined to make it faster, to where we could do more. So right now it's just a matter of being able to handle 6,000 payouts a month. It's a lot, and that number goes up every month. So, doing every day would be like a nightmare right now. So
Yeah, I mean, let me interject. I've worked in the brokerage industry, and when I was starting, I was too cheap to pay an assistant. So when you do your own wire transfers, you learn that, doing 6,000, that's a lot. That's a lot of outgoing, paperwork. So yeah, that is, and it's tough to automate that.
well, and then 10% of the people mess up their stuff and put their routing number in their account, and their routing, and then you got to chase them. And
yeah,
I mean, that's what creates the biggest nightmare, right?
yeah.
But yeah, typing in all that information and putting all that stuff through. We're working on doing a lot of API work to make things simpler. We're working on possibly making the consistency rule simpler to cut down on the amount of review work.
Yeah.
So we're trying to put some things in place to make it faster. It's just we're also trying to keep up with paying out so many people so much money, which is a good problem to have. So
Darryl, is there a futures asset class that's more successful for traders in your funding program that you're noticing?
I would say indices.
Indices.
So the majority of our traders that do well are trading indices. Yeah.
All right. On a similar note, you noticing any similar characteristics of the traders who are taking largest payouts?
They trade small. They trade way smaller than their account size. They only try to take small profits every day and be done. So they're not going in and making $10,000 a day. If they are, they're making it on a whole bunch of accounts. Even then, though, I mean, they're going for maybe a few $100, with a few contracts on a 35 contract account. So they trade small and they go slow, and it just builds up.
Yeah, I bet a lot of newcomers wouldn't expect that type of answer. But it really is, right. It's really all about risk.
Yeah, it's all about risk. I mean, if you can't control risk, you can't do anything. If you don't have patience and discipline, you're going to blow any system, no matter how good it is. So it's the ones who are patient and disciplined and have a system. Those are the ones who do really well. And I mean, one of our top traders, Vince, he pulled out over $1 million last year. He actually now does consulting for us as well. Like, he talks to traders and stuff like that. And I mean, he was just blowing accounts left and right for like 6 months. He passed and then he fell, passed and then he fell, passed and he fell. And I got on the phone with him one day and I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?" I was like, "I see you can make money, And he's like, "Man, I just keep doing this, going this." And he's like, "What should I do?" And I was like, "I can tell you exactly what you need to do." I was like, "You just need to trade smaller and slow down and you'll be fine." And he took that to heart, and literally in the next 6 months, he made over $1 million. So, I mean, it was that simple. It wasn't any like big, massive words of wisdom. It wasn't some, let me get on the charts and show you the perfect trading setup with these moving averages or whatever. It was
just some common sense, right?
Just control your risk and slow down and let it build over time. And I mean, that was it. And I mean, that did a 180 on his entire trading results.
If I can just quickly interject, Darryl, one thing as an educator, and I've been trading for 30 years and, making markets, took 200 companies public. The one thing I like about your program is that it teaches people the concept of trading other people's money, which is what the market's based on. And what a lot of traders don't have is they have no support system. They have no risk management. They have no way to enforce discipline. When you work on a trade desk, you have a compliance officer, a risk manager, a credit officer, the owner of the firm, allowing, who teach you and also monitor, because it's their money you're trading. So I think one of the most beneficial things of your program is that traders get to actually, if they think about it and you have the discipline, treat it as a business and learn what it is to do business in a business, have someone to answer to. And these programs enforce discipline, which is the most important thing in trading, I think, is discipline to not lose money while you learn what you're doing. And this is a great way for people to do it. And I think, you know, if people understand that everybody wants to, you know, have their own fund and things like that, this is the way to start. This is the way to learn what it's like to have a boss, how to answer to people, how to manage risk. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, people, they come in and they want us to change rules, like we've already had questions on here.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is working. People
Yeah.
are being paid out.
Yeah.
So does it need to change, or do you need to change?
Well, yeah, exactly.
And so that's some of the management, right? That's sort of happening behind the scenes. It's almost like they are being managed by having a trailing drawdown to see if they're managing risk and size and profit, all three of those at the same time. And so that's a great point. I mean, it's sort of like having that risk manager there.
Exactly.
And people want to get rid of the risk manager, the compliance officer, and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I mean,
it's like, but you're stuck with them, and they're there for a reason.
Because as a retail trader, when I was on the trade desk and I picked up the trade to do something stupid, my head trader would like slap me on the head and go, "What are you doing?" Right? We don't have that as a retail trader, right? Or somebody would hear you and throw a phone at your head to get you to hang up the phone so you wouldn't do something stupid with the firm's capital. Retail traders don't have that system of checks and balances, and I think this is a great way for them to learn how to think like a business person.
Right. Yeah. Make it a business, not just a hobby.
Exactly.
Darryl, I got a question from a citizen of India. Is there any regulations that inhibit Indian citizens?
Not that I am aware of. I'm not a lawyer, but not that I'm aware of. Okay. So we have traders from India. So
all right, excellent. I'm not sure I'm understanding this question, but it's around explain when a trader goes from a sim account to a live account. I'm not sure if they're asking about like I guess maybe if that could be more specific. I don't know if they're talking like technically like maybe like an emotional difference when you got money on the line versus a sim.
Some traders it does mess with because they feel like all of a sudden it's live money, their money, it's not their money. But we go from sim to performance account to live account, just so you know our process. Okay. So a simulation account is what are just matching orders with whatever's on the DOM. Okay. And then a performance account basically does the same thing, but we can copy those trades into live accounts. We can also then move them to live accounts. Because I mean, if somebody comes in and they pass the evaluation in one day, okay, because they just went big, and then the next 6 days they just flip micros, we don't really want to put that money in person into a live account right away. There's a good chance they're going to blow it on the first day of their PA account, right? So we monitor people's equity curves, their trading patterns around news, things like that, decide who we want to copy and put into live accounts.
All right. When they, yeah, guys, you're gonna have to be a little more specific with your questions. I'm not understanding these questions. Someone's asking about taxes. Are Apex members stats for how they structure for tax purposes?
They're independent contractors.
Independent contractors. All right, there you go. Yeah, we need full sentence questions here.
Yeah, try and use your words, type out your question in a full sentence so the man can, come on, guys, work with us here. Okay.
Yeah, I think, to the point I was thinking about earlier, Darryl, like a lot of people think trading needs to be complicated, right? Like could be fairly simple. I think that's what some of the best know how to do, right? It's just how to simplify trading.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I always say is trading is not as simple as you want it to be, but it's not near as hard as you make it.
Right. Right. Okay, I guess all right. The question here is if you have them, Darryl, what are the stats of traders moving from an eval to a performance account to a
It's
live?
about
Yeah, so I guess what's the success rate? I imagine that's what they're asking.
well, evaluation to either PA or live account is about 44%, which is about 20% higher than any of our competitors.
What are the top things you look at in an evaluation account when improving them to the PA accounts?
We actually make it really simple. Did you hit the profit goal without hitting the trailing drawdown and traded at least 7 days? I mean, that's it.
All right, guys, I'll take a few more questions here. We'll wrap this up in like 5 minutes. So if you got any more questions, get them in. And then we'll get out of here. Darryl, appreciate your time, man, and fielding these questions.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I'm just watching NASDAQ right now. So playing a little below settlement at the moment.
Steve wants to know, Darryl, when's the next 90% off special, and is there any chance for 100% off?
We're doing 200%. We're going to pay you, buddy. What are you talking about?
As Ray would say, this guy.
Hey, this guy.
So we'll let you know when the next special is, but 90% is going to be a long ways off. So
come on, guys. The guy's got to make a buck. Come on.
I know, man. We'd give like 90% off, and the next thing they want to know is when is the next 90% off? It's like it's 71% off. Like that's a pretty good deal.
Jeez.
Darryl, is there anything you've learned the last couple of years? I guess looking through the data on Apex that you found interesting or maybe you didn't expect?
It amazed me how many traders. I guess this shouldn't have amazed me, but how many traders just try to do it all at once? They try to make it all at once in one trade in one day. But also it's amazed me just watching like I said, I'll see some kid in college, we're paying out over $1 million to. And just humble as can be, and just like, hey, I'm like so excited. I'm glad I made this. He's a seminary student, and so just the range of people. I think one of the really cool things is seeing people who, like, even cooler than that, has been like, I've had people who have said, hey, this just, this was more than my Social Security check. Or I've had a couple guys who were homeless. They were like living in other people's houses. And they made like over $100 grand. So like totally turned their life around. So that, I think, changing people's lives has been a really, really cool opportunity with this.
That's awesome. All right, so this question here, Darryl, I get you suggested risk for different accounts. I guess i.e. 25 account, micros are only 1 mini, 50K account, 3 micros, 1 mini. Well, I guess as far as like risk wise, is there something that you're seeing particularly working, or is it maybe individual dependent?
It's completely individual dependent on what market they're trading. I mean, if you're trading ES, it's a whole different story than if you're trading NASDAQ, right? Because the volatility is so much higher. So it also depends on what your stops are in your trading system. So it's really going to come down to how big is your stop determines your size. So, and then how much are you willing to risk before you stop trading for the day? And then how much can you lose without it messing with your head the next day to take a trade? So it is very individualistic. Obviously, smaller, in my opinion, is better. It's better off to take more time to pass than to try to pass fast, because what you do in evaluation, you're probably going to do in the PA account. So.
All right, cool. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Get them last ones. I'll ask here. Aubrey, that question was asked before. You're saying that they trade smaller. They good good risk management.
Yeah, top traders.
Yeah.
Any more whole sentences there?
And
Someone was asking, do you still trade?
Do I still trade?
Yeah.
Heck
Or do
yeah.
you still have time to trade? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I trade 15 minutes to 2 hours a day.
Got
So when I'm trading, I mean, I don't trade every day,
Yeah.
but I
you
own,
can.
I own multiple companies. I have a ranch. So I'm out working horses and cows and, all sorts of fun
Okay, like
stuff.
real work. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We own like stallions and all that stuff
Oh
and
wow.
breed
Okay,
them.
that's a lot of work.
That's
My
awesome.
daughter,
Where are you, Darryl?
just north of Fort Worth, Texas. So
Okay, nice.
yeah, my daughter, she's 17. She's won 12 world titles in barrel racing and all that already. So
No way.
yeah, so pretty cool.
I grew up in Saskatchewan, so I've got a buddy who's a rodeo clown. So
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm heading to the NFR this week. So one of my stallion's babies is in the NFR. So
nice.
we'll be watching him. Yeah, Cassie Maui riding. What is his name? Epic. So
Cool
he's
stuff.
so epic. That's his name. He's so epic. Yeah.
Darryl, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure, and I had fun.
Great to meet you.
Awesome.
All right.
Yep. Nice meeting you. Thanks everyone for all the questions. Everyone have a good one. All right.
All right.
See you soon.
See you, man.
All right. Bye.